handled safely to my dreams. Clutching tightly, no one has.
Hi everybody, welcome to Just God TV. Again, this is Jim Piper. I'm glad you're with us. If you were with us last week, you heard us quote the verse in Proverbs 4, verse 23, where Solomon said, "Above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life." Last week, we kind of talked about the heart, the metaphor of the heart, and how important it is that we keep our heart pure. This week, we're going to talk about how to guard our heart, how to keep it pure instead of polluted. If you have a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, I'd like you to grab it. If you don't, that's okay. Just watch this video again later on where you can do this. So I'm going to pretend that you have a piece of paper and a pencil. I want you to write down 3 words. The first word I want you to write down is examine. In order to guard your heart, you have to examine your heart. An unexamined life will become a polluted life. Take the time to sit down and think about all the stuff that has kind of gone on in your life this week, this month, this quarter, this year, this decade, and maybe in your whole life. And examine it and look at it. How many of those things are potentially damaging to your heart, to your outlook on life? And write them down. Write them down for what they are. I don't know, maybe recently you've lost your job, or maybe you're going through a divorce, or maybe you're not sure about the whole God thing. I mean, just spell it out there. Maybe you went through a difficult time in your childhood. Just write those things down on a piece of paper. That's what I want you to do. And that's what we call examining our heart, living an examined life. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to look at each one of those things, and I want you to partner with God. Talk to God. Just say, "God, which of these things that are floating in my life that are potentially damaging, even stuff that comes all the way from my childhood, which of these things have I kept your hands off of? Which of these things do you need to transform, to change, to turn from bad to good, so that it's useful in my life, so that I become more relevant to you and to other people?" And you can also ask God this, "And which of these things simply need to be ridded out of my life? They need to be taken out of my life." So the first step is to examine what's in my heart. The second step is to empty out. So write down that word, empty out the things that shouldn't be there. Now again, some things you're not going to be able to get out of. God wants to transform them. But in doing that, He empties what is polluted and makes it pure. And other things like sin and bad habits and bad thoughts and unforgiveness and those kinds of things, those are the things that He wants to rid out of your heart. All right, now the third thing is you need to encourage your heart. So remember, we need to examine our heart, we need to ask God to help us empty our heart, and now we need God to encourage our heart. And by encouraging our heart, He promises that once we surrender our heart to God, in other words, I stop holding on to my heart. Instead, what I do is I let God reign in my heart. And then what I do is I say, "God, take over." And when He takes over my heart, He promises to replace it. In Galatians 5:22, it says that God replaces the junk in my heart with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness. And I don't believe that's an exhaustive list, but it's a great example of what God wants to put in our heart. So here's how this works. Now turn that piece of paper over. Remember the one that you had where you wrote down all the junk that might be floating in your heart? Now turn it over. Turn that piece of paper over, and one by one, look at the things that you wrote down and say, "Now what is it that I would need from God that would either transform this thing floating or even sinking down in the depths of my heart? Or what do I need to get rid of it completely so that my heart stays pure?" So you turn over the piece of paper, and for example, it might be the power of forgiveness. And so you write down the power of forgiveness. I need to have my heart encouraged by the power of forgiveness. Or if you go back over and you're stressed out about stuff, pending things, anxiety in your life, stuff that's not happening, and then maybe what you need is peace or trust. And so you turn that paper back over and you write, "I need trust, I need peace to deal with that." Now once you go through all of that, then what I want you to do is I want you to keep that piece of paper. And I want you to keep it with you for as long as you need to. And I want you to talk to God and say, "Lord, I need these things from you. I'm asking for the power of forgiveness. I'm asking for trust. I'm asking for hope. I'm asking for healing. I'm asking for vision. Whatever it is that you need to counteract the junk that's floating around in your life. That's how you guard your heart. You examine it. You don't want to live an unexamined life. Examine it. Empty it. By noticing what God can do. And then third, ask God to encourage it by replacing it. Hey, thanks for joining us. Again, please forward this to a friend who might need encouragement and encourage them to sign up to our weekly eTouch here at Just God TV. Until next week, I'll see you again.
If I give them now to you, will you take them away forever? Or can I dream again?